Hey family, welcome back to my channel, Healing for Destiny. I am Ashley B, and I'm hopping right back into this series today. God has me doing this series for my fellow single mothers, those that are still struggling and trying to overcome this resentment and this pain that you still hold on to, that you may have towards your child's father, that makes it hard for you to heal and move on with your life, that makes it hard for you to co-parent because of all the stuff that you're harboring, all the stuff that done happened in the past, all this pain and all these things that you continue to hold on to. God has me doing this series to begin to help you to know that you can overcome these things, you can heal, you can forgive, you can move on with your life. So I'm just giving these tips and these tools, hoping that you will listen and you will follow, because this stuff was really going to help you in your life. These are the things that helped me in my life. These are the things that I had to learn. These are the things that God exposed to me in my healing journey in order for me to overcome these things. So of course I have to give this to someone else to help someone else. So today we are talking about overcoming the frustrations of co-parenting with your child's father, those frustrations that you have, and and how they do things, how they go about things. And to be completely honest, this topic is really any mother, not just single mothers, or not you that's dealing with this, but any mother really can relate to this topic, because we just mothers and we have that motherly instinct, and men, they don't do things how we do, and they don't think like how we think. So sometimes it can be really frustrating when it comes to the co-parenting, especially even more when you're harboring so much anger and resentment towards your child's father and you're trying to overcome it. So we are talking about getting rid of these frustrations. How do we overcome it? How do I stop being so frustrated? I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to be around this person. Sometimes it's so hard to even think about co-parenting with this person because of the things that they do or how they show up. And so that's what we're talking about today. So the first thing that I kind of want to dive into when it comes to overcoming these frustrations, how do I begin to overcome this? How do I begin to stop being so angry and frustrated behind the co-parentship? So the first thing with letting go a lot of these frustrations is letting go of the things that you can't control. Now that sounds so simple, right? But it's not as simple when you are still harboring this hurt and this anger and this person that you have to deal with, that you really don't want to deal with, that you really don't care for, that you really don't want to co-parent with. It's not as simple, right? But these are the things, this is what I'm saying, these are the tips and the tools that's going to help you to really start healing from this and moving forward. And that's why I started with the video of forgiveness, because that's key. In this series, I started with the forgiveness video, and when you start with that, I'm doing all these videos in order so that you begin to see the flow of how you have to start with forgiveness. Then you have to start letting go of these frustrations, and then it leads to all these other things that will help you to be able to heal and fully move on and fully be able to co-parent with God's help. So letting go of these things that you can't control. Now let me give you a new perspective about this that's going to change stuff for you and help you to really help you in this area, right? So let's say, I'm just going to throw out some of the things that we are most commonly frustrated about when it comes to co-parenting, when it comes to dealing with your child's father. They might have a job and you feel like they choose their job over their child, or that you feel like they have certain influences in their life. Maybe they're in a relationship with somebody else and you hate this person that they in this relationship with, because you feel like this person is controlling or manipulative. This person is pulling them away from their child. This person is the reason why they not showing up the way they supposed to. Or the fact that maybe your child's father is not reliable, you can't depend on them, they frustrate you, they don't show up like they supposed to show up on time, they're not helping you financially, they're not supporting you in the way that you want to be supported. It's so many things, right? So many different things that we can list as these things that will frustrate us, as mothers, that will frustrate us when it comes to co-parenting, right? But here's the thing, so many other things that I can list, right? But these are just like the common things. The thing about everything that I just listed, you cannot control that. You cannot control that. You can't control who they're in a relationship with. You can't control what they choose to do in their lives, how they choose to live their lives. If they do choose to go to their job and work all the time and not having that time for their children, or the fact that they're not showing up the way that you would want them to show up, the fact that they're not supporting the way that you would not support, you cannot control that. And you have to start wrapping your mind and your brain around the fact of letting go of the things that you can't control. That is going to eliminate so much anger and frustrations when you really, you know that saying, like, when somebody shows you who they are, you have to believe it. You have to start getting to a place where when it comes to your child's father, whether you just started co-parenting or whether you've been co-parenting for years and it's been so much that has happened within you guys' relationship, you have to take a step back and really just see them for who they are, see the situation for who it is, and accept it for who it is, accept it for what it is, right? And let me go a little bit deeper. Let me go a little bit deeper with this. So it's okay to be optimistic, but this, I have to learn my lesson from this. It's okay to be optimistic, especially when you're in a relationship with God and you believing that God is going to move. He's going to change things when it comes to this, when it comes to this relationship, when it comes to, the future of raising your child with somebody else and co-parenting, and, you going through your healing process. It's okay to have that hope. You're supposed to have that hope. You're supposed to be optimistic. You're supposed to believe, like, it's gonna work out, or he's gonna change, or he's gonna be able to help me the way I need to be helped. He's gonna be able to support. He's gonna be able to be reliable. Like, it's okay to believe all these things, but you still have to be real with yourself in who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. And that is going to eliminate all this anger and this frustration. Is because, see, a lot of the times when you're frustrated about certain things, about the way they doing things or how they doing things, even if you are holding on to like that optimism or that hope that it's going to be this or that, like I said, all of that is fine and dandy, but you holding them to that standard because you hoping like, okay, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And you holding them to that standard, you holding them to that believing that that's what it is or who they are. And that's not who they are. And that's probably never who they're going to be, or never what it's going to be. And so you have to be real with yourself. You have to see what it is. You have to see them for who they are, see the situation for what it is, accept it for what it is, and be okay with that. Be okay with the fact that they don't show up the way they're supposed to show up. You have to just be okay with it. And when I say accept, when I say have this acceptance and accept it for what it is, I don't mean that you just accept anything. No, like, there definitely has to be respect. There definitely has to be boundaries when it comes to co-parenting and dealing with this person, your child's father in your life. There definitely has to be all that, but you have to let go of what you think it should be, and just let, like, these things, you can't control that. You can't control that. You can't control if they don't show up. You can't control if they don't, if they not helping you. You can't control that. Yes, it might hurt, and, you feel like, I need this, or I need them to, they don't understand me. I need them to show up for me like this. I need them to show up for the child like this. I need this help. I need this support. Yes, it hurts. It doesn't always feel good, but this is what I'm saying. You have to throw your hands up and wipe your hands with it. See it for what it is and be okay with it. Accept it so that you can start relieving yourself of that stress and that anger and that frustration about people being something that they're not, about people showing up the way that you might want them to show up. And I have to be real with this. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to step on some toes with this, but I'm being real with y'all. This is what I've learned. This is what God has shown me in my process and my healing when it comes to this. A lot of your frustrations, I'm going to be really honest with you right now. A lot of the things that you are so frustrated and angry about when it comes to your child's father is based off of this control that you have on the situation, on, their relationship with the child, on the things that they're doing in the co-parentship. You have this control because you feel like they should be doing this, or you need them to be doing it the way you want them to do it. And God had to really I didn't want to accept this, right? Like, you know, when you a mother, especially when you've gone through this hurt and this pain, you know, behind your child's father, you know, you feel justified. You feel justified in how you going about certain things. You feel justified in how you feel the way you feel. Now, while all those things are valid, at some point though, you still have to be real with yourself, and everything is not just about them. Sometimes you have to take a step back and be real with yourself about how you're showing up in the co-parentship, about the things that you're dealing with on the inside of you that you have to heal, that you have to give to God, that you have to partner with God so that he can help you in order for you to be able to get rid of to let go of these frustrations and relieve yourself of all this anger and pain. So that control, I want you to take, when you like come off of this video, I want you to really just sit back and think about this and really just sit with yourself for a second and think like, are there things that I'm causing my own stress and hurt about, and I'm causing my own frustrations to myself because I won't just allow things to be the way it is. I won't just allow, you know, this to be this or this to be that. Am I causing my own stress? Like, you have to be real with yourself. Sometimes you cause your own self frustration by being angry with things that you can't control, by trying to control them to do this or do that. And so you got to just take a step back and be real with yourself and partner with God with this. Ask God to expose this to you. If he hasn't already, this might resonate with you because this might be like confirmation for you. Like, God, you already done told me this, so I know I need to work on this. But ask God to expose this. God, is there something that I'm doing to add to my own frustrations? What am I doing? Like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do differently? How can I approach this differently? And I promise you, God will begin to show you those things. He will begin to expose those things to you. He will begin to show you the areas in which you need to take your hand off of this. You need to take your grip off of this, and you need to just allow me to do this, or you need to just allow it to be what it is. So once you're okay with that acceptance, you able to accept it, you able to let that control. It's going to start with that. You really have to like let go. You cannot be sitting around mad about these things that you can't control. You have to just release it. But now, okay, I understand that. I see it for what it is. I'm able to accept what I can't control. I'm able to let go of the things that I can't control. So now it's time for a new strategy. Now it's time for a new strategy. This is what it really is that's going to help when it comes to this frustrations. Now that I've accepted all of this, now I'm okay, cool. I'm cool with all that. I'm good. So now I have to come up with a different strategy. And when it comes to, you know, having this different strategy, this new strategy is all about your peace. It's all about your sanity. It's all about the things that you are now changing when it comes to your co-parentship, when it comes to your approach, so that you will not be walking around constantly frustrated. You will not be walking around constantly consumed with this anger and this frustration behind your child's father or what's happening in the co-parentship. So now it's time for a new strategy. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean, right? Now, let's say, for example, your child's father is not reliable. Like I said, you finally get to a point where you like, man, I'm just got to be real with myself. This is what I'm dealing with. He's not reliable. I can't depend on him. He don't show up on time. He don't show up like I need him to. I'm constantly have to cancel this. I constantly have to go, you know, this constantly keeps happening, and he's cutting into my, you know, disrespecting me, cutting into my time and all of this. Okay, boom. Time for a new strategy, right? So let's say, for example, you got to be somewhere at 4 o'clock. Y'all being real. Let's say you got to be somewhere at 4 o'clock, right? New strategy means that you do not tell your son's father that you have to be there by 4 o'clock, or wherever you're going, that you have to be there by 4 o'clock. And so I need you to pick up the child by 3:30. If you know that this person is not dependable, if you know that they keep doing this stuff and it's messing up your time, it's messing you up on your end, you do not keep telling them that. You got to come with a different strategy now. You got to do something different. You can't keep doing the same things expecting different results, because what's going to happen? You're going to continue to be frustrated. Okay, so I got to be somewhere at 4 o'clock. I'm not going to tell him that I got to be somewhere by 4 o'clock and I need him to pick up the child by 3:30. I'm going to tell him I need to be somewhere by 2 o'clock. So then now he's going to now show up at 2:30. Y'all see where I'm going with this? He's going to now show up at 2:30, But look at that. He done came. He done picked up the child. They go on about their business. They go on about their day. And look, he done came, and now I'm still able to make what I need to make. I'm still able to, like, that, the fact that he's who he is and he's not dependable and he does whatever he wants to do, that's fine, because it's not affecting me. It's not cutting into my time. It's not cutting into what I got going on in my life. And this is what I mean, like, different strategy. Let's say you're dealing with your child's father is a liar. You know that they're a liar, and you constantly getting frustrated the fact that everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie, and you so mad and you so angry and you so consumed with the fact, like, I know they lying, I know they this, I know they that. Different strategy means that you take everything that they say with a grain of salt. You whatever they say, you already put it in your mind, like, I don't trust this, I don't believe this, because you know that they're a known liar. Y'all, I'm just being real. You know that they're a known liar. You know that this is something that they do. This is who they are. So then you cannot believe anything that comes out of their mouth. And I know that sounds so harsh, or but it's real. It's real. It's all about your sanity and your peace. Like, you have to know what you're dealing with. You have to know who you're dealing with, so you won't just be trusting the things that they're saying, and then later on, when it doesn't happen, or they don't show up the way they're supposed to show up, or they don't do what they said they was gonna do, you're now not frustrated about it, because you know that they're a liar. So you wasn't even believing it. You didn't even have any expectations about it. This is the type of stuff that is you have to start being real with yourself in order for you to relieve yourself of these frustrations when it comes to parenting, when it comes to co-parenting, when it comes to having to deal with your child's father. It's all about a different strategy. All this stuff that happened in the past that caused you so much frustration and anger, it does not work. It's not working. It's not working, because you're continually being frustrated and angry. So now you have to start doing something different. You have to start strategizing different. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you a transparent example for me, right? Like my son's father, the example that I gave, about that's how my son's father, he's not like that anymore, but he was at some point where he really was not dependable. He would not show up on time like he was supposed to. And I remember, like, when he would say that he was coming, I would like have my son ready. I would have his coat on, waiting by the door, and then he don't show up for another hour, or he don't show up at all. And I remember that stuff used to make me so mad, and I'll just be sitting around mad for the rest of the day and angry and all this stuff. And it's like, no, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to be sitting over here stressed out and frustrated about things that I can't control. So now I have to accept that this is who he is. He's not dependable. Again, he is now, but at the time I had to come to that realization. I had to be real with myself. He's not dependable. I can't depend on him. So you know what? You know what my new strategy is now? Okay, I'm not going to put no coat on my child. I'm not even going to put their clothes on until I know that he's coming, until I know for sure that he's outside. It got to a point where I didn't start putting my son's clothes on until I knew that he was downstairs. You see what I mean? Like, different strategy. You got to start doing what's best for you to relieve yourself of all that stress. Like, so at this point, I see that he's not dependable. Again, using this as an example, I saw that he wasn't dependable. So now I got to do something differently. I'm not about to be sitting over here mad and frustrated and wore out for the rest of the day and sitting around trying to figure out, you know what I mean? And it got to a point to where it was like, because I had gotten this different strategy, I'm not even upset if you don't show up. I'm not even upset if you don't show up. You got, like a strategy. You got to come up with a different plan, a plan B. Again, there's somebody that you can't depend on. So now it's time for plan B. You got to be somewhere. Okay, what's my plan B? If he don't show up, who else can I get? Okay, let me call my mom. Let me already have this backup. Let me call his mom. Let me already have this Like, you got to start getting ahead of this stuff. You got to start confusing the enemy, because the enemy, sometimes the people that we deal with in our lives, these difficult people in these difficult situations, they don't even know that they are being used by the enemy. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're being used by the enemy, but that's why you have to start confusing the enemy when it comes to these things. Like, okay, enemy, I see you. I see you for what you're doing. I see you for who you are. I see what you're trying to do. I see the confusion that you're trying to bring in this situation. I see, the drama that you're trying to bring, and I'm not going to let you do that. So now I'm about to confuse you. And I'm about to now start doing this, because you're not about to have me frustrated. You're not about to have me angry. You're not about to have me all bent out of shape. You see what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Letting go of the things that you can't control, taking your grip off of it completely, allowing God to show you these areas in your life in order for you to begin to start healing, in order for you to begin to stop being so consumed with this anger around people, behind these people and behind our child's fathers, that we can't control it. We can't control who they are. We can't control what they do. You cannot control it at all. So you have to relieve yourself of that control. Relieve yourself of holding on to that control and holding on to the things that they do. Let them do what they do. Let them be who they are. But you got to just do what you have to do, and you have to have a different strategy. You have to have a different strategy that works for you, that's going to relieve this stress, that's going to help you, that's going to benefit you. And that's what you have. These are just a few tips and tools. And that's what you have to remember. This is how you're going to be able to start getting past these frustrations, letting these frustrations go, not letting these things consume you. Okay, so I love you guys. I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, if you resonate with it, if you got something from it, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. I love you guys. Make sure you continue to watch this series. Watch all the videos in this series. It's out there. So go watch these videos. Be encouraged. Use these things. Take these tips and these tools back to God and ask him how he can begin to start helping you in these different areas. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.